Russia has officially declared war on Ukraine. There's currently open conflict. What's going on and what's next? Let's break it down. So Ukraine is definitely under attack. Last we heard, there was 200,000 troops on the border, and we're getting reports that the capital has issued a missile warning, and they're advising civilians to hide in shelters. We've also heard about different air defense locations being attacked as well. So it looks like we're already entering conflict. Now, the UN and Japan we've all said that we were going to defend Ukraine. I know Biden made an announcement as well. Let's see if I can pull that up. Biden said the prayers of the world are with the people of Ukraine tonight as they suffer an unprovoked and unjustified attack by Russian military forces. President Putin has chosen a premeditated war that will bring a catastrophic loss of life and human suffering. So, I mean, it's, again, I wish we'd have stronger statements. Of course, it's late now. So the conflict's underway. What do we need to really bring our attention to? Well, I don't know if we're in a position to react immediately to the conflict that's breaking out. So and I don't know that any of the UN has really sent any support as well. I know that we sent supplies, and there was a few troops. Who knows if they're actively doing anything? There's not much speculation I can give there. But I can say, if China uses this, if we commit ourselves to this conflict in this part of the world, China might use that opportunity to make an attack on Taiwan. If that happens, this is already rough and emotional and saddening. But if China makes a move on Taiwan, this ramps up immediately. We're talking about, sixth largest economy versus like the second. Together, it's a lot to handle, especially when the world is still generally, we have to remember, we're generally in chaos still. There's protests all over the world. Canada's got all this drama going on. We've got convoys moving towards the White House right now. There's still persistent supply chain issues. Some countries are still on lockdowns. Now, the market's going to react negatively to Russia, of course. And we're going to probably see some sell-off. It looks like we're already 10 points down. If China enters this and makes a move on Taiwan, we're going to see a full-blown crash for sure. 100-point drop from the drop we already have easily if China makes a move. So keep that in the back of your mind. And one of the things I also think is not being discussed enough is the cyber attacks. These cyber attacks they've been working out well for these countries. They're going to keep doing it. Russia hit Ukraine multiple times, hit the government, hits different security operations. They've even tried to hit different nuclear sites all over the place. They were even messing with countries in the Middle East. And we can't figure out who tried to hit the Colonial Pipeline here in the U.S., but there's got to be some speculation there on whether that was one of these nefarious entities that's been clearly focusing on this type of technology. And the big thing here is that there's been a very active black market for what are known as zero-day exploits, and these exploits, they're to get into an iPhone or to get into an Android phone or to get into someone's system. People find these exploits, hackers do, and then they sell them on the black market for big money to nefarious governments. The governments, I think it's generally, we can assume that they've been collecting these. The big issue here is if they're untrackable exploits, and the goal there is to get information or shut down systems. Now, when we're looking back at, like the Colonial Pipeline, when that occurred, like we were days away from serious repercussions, like economic repercussions from that because of the lack of access to diesel fuel. And if we see more conflict break out, I would be really concerned about that. Russia's been shutting off Ukraine's lights, and all the other things that we already discussed. So if we enter conflict with China, I would expect us to get hit with that. And the thing is that when this is speculation, but I think it's reasonable speculation. I don't know, but I think, and I'm worried that our government is not as well prepared as these governments when it comes to defense for cybersecurity. We're probably going to need to heavily rely on the companies, but you know, and probably get some good cooperation there, and hopefully we have good defense. Now the thing is that Microsoft, they get cyber attacks all day, right? They're a big tech company, people are going to go after them, but you know, oil companies, even, you know, like waste management, the water companies, electric companies, they're not used to cyber attacks. Infrastructure is really weak in these areas, and it is for other countries as well, as we've seen with Ukraine. You know, our nuclear sites are well protected. That's probably generally assumed. I mean, hopefully. Well, yeah, anyways. But the fear would be that there's a lot of weaknesses and no one's really tested it, and we're about to enter a brand new type of warfare, which is something that we've seen with every you know, world war. And I'm not saying world war is occurring, but this is, you know, developing into real concerns. That's what's going on right now. We're gonna need to keep an eye out, but you know, I'm also really concerned about the cybersecurity attacks that are gonna occur, and because, you know, the loss of life that you're gonna get from a war is already bad. But if you also have, you know, turmoil at home, well, it's really hard to also be aware of the turmoil over there. And addressing everything at once amidst chaos can be difficult. And we have not seen this administration here in the U.S. display competency in tense situations. And they've been given a few. And that's not me playing, you know, favorites with any political party or anything. It's just that's what we've obviously observed. So it's concerning on how this could play out or what's going to occur. It's wild. You know, we've already got, you know, all sorts of mistrust in the media and our own government, and now we're going to go do, you know, we might enter engagement here. Polls have shown that people are not supportive of helping Ukraine. Like, they do not care about Ukraine. And I'm not saying that I feel that way. I think, but you know, that's what the polls are coming in at. So, and if China enters, who knows what those polls look like? I would assume we'd get a lot more support for that because it feels more existential. But this could be the, you know, the shot heard across the world. Or missile or cyber attack heard across the world. So I'm gonna try to keep you informed on what's going on. We're gonna try to keep a close eye on this. I'll continue to put out videos as major things happen. And if you're trading tomorrow, you know, we're gonna see lots of volatility. We're gonna see gold's already spiking, and the cryptos haven't moved yet. I want to do a separate video on cryptos. I think this is going to be an important part of the conversation. I haven't talked about it a lot recently, and I haven't sold any of my cryptos. I've just been holding and just buying more. I haven't been doing much buying as of recent because this market's looking really bearish. Everything's looking really bearish. I've just been selling. So got a lot of cash headed in tomorrow, which is something we've been talking about in the Discord a lot. So with those hedges set up as well and those puts, so those are probably going to do well into tomorrow. Throughout this, if we don't see this, you know, there's going to be a time frame that China's going to need to make a move. They want to make a move. So if we don't see that play out, this will turn into a buying opportunity. If this, well, I mean, even if that does play out and there is a major crash, it will turn it into a buying opportunity as well. Make sure, if you're in the Discord, you know, make sure you read up on the market mechanics and why that occurs. Different, you know, 401ks and Roths and how like Vanguard products operate. It's important to know to understand why there's big rebounds after crashes. So, you know, if there is a big market crash because China enters the fray, then understand, you know, when that bottom does come through, that we'll likely see a rebound like we did from COVID, and people will probably most likely be confused about it, or it'll be the crash that burns a lot of these traders. Because even it wasn't really until today that we saw the buy the dip mentality actually kind of fade away a bit. It was really low volume, even when, you know, even in the higher volume parts of the day. So hopefully people have been aware. Not likely though. So, you know, when it comes to liquidity coming back, you know, if these hedge funds some hedge funds might start moving in easily. But if there is a big market crash, you know, we're going to start need to worrying about whether these hedge funds start getting burned out, and what that does to the market effects. So we can have a conversation about that when all that starts playing out. Of course, that doesn't affect how passive market mechanics operate. It's just going to cause more volatility and more things going on in the conversation. It's going to be more nuanced. It's already super nuanced. But we'll cover any of those if they come up. Just be aware that that's kind of where my mind's at. This is what's happened so far. This is my commentary. I'll continue to put out these videos, try to keep up with this as much as possible. Make sure, you know, if you follow on Twitter, if you're in the Discord, get in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, if you want us to keep updated on all of this, we're constantly sharing the news in the Discord and talking about it. The conversation is developing in there. So head on over there if you want to, if you want to participate in that and stay informed. I'll see you in the next episode.